A boy who was sitting near her quietly put some strange liquid into the girl's drink. The three young men convinced her to take a drink. Right after she drank it, her head started to spin. She believed she was simply drunk and said she needed to go home. However, the three guys stopped her from leaving. Their true, cruel nature finally came out. They only allowed her to go after it became dark outside. Feeling hopeless, the girl walked down the stairs. When Katya finally got to her home, she collapsed to the ground and finally burst into tears. Her grandfather heard the noise and quickly came to her. He wanted to know what was wrong, but Katya could not stop crying. She would not tell him anything. Then her grandfather noticed the marks on her skin. He figured out everything right away. He was very angry and demanded to know who did this to her. Only at that moment did Katya slowly explain what had happened. After he helped her feel calmer, he picked up a large axe. While he was on his way, he met his neighbor, Lyoshka. Lyoshka saw that Ivan, who was usually very kind, was storming out with anger. He asked Ivan what was going on. After Lyoshka heard the story about Katya, he told Ivan to go to the police first, since Lyoshka was a police officer. After that, Lyoshka went back to the police station. He got his team together and they went to catch the three bad guys. They carried AK rifles with them and forcefully opened the apartment door. They quickly took control of the three young men. After questioning them for a while, all three admitted to what they had done. The police also found spots of blood on a sheet, which was strong proof. Right when they were getting ready to take the three men to the station, the chief of police arrived. It turned out that one of the young men was his own son. The chief said the officers had used too much force when questioning them and decided to start the whole investigation over. Ivan could not accept this unfair result. Soon, a notice from the prosecutor's office arrived. The other side hoped for a settlement, but Ivan said no, very strongly. Katya had to go and give her official statement. However, this prosecutor was also a bad person. He made fun of Katya. He forced her to remember and talk about all the terrible details from that night. He asked mean questions about why she did certain things. He mentioned that the chief's son, Vadim, was handsome and liked by many girls at school. He suggested that Katya might have had some other reason for being there. This was completely wrong for a prosecutor to do. Katya felt terribly hurt and unfairly treated. After she came back home, she felt even worse than before. Ivan was so angry, he could only shout curses. Meanwhile, those three bad young men were free again. They showed no sadness or regret for their actions. Ivan knew this situation could not continue, so he put on all his special medals and went to the main prosecutor's office. But after looking at all the case papers, the head prosecutor told him there was no DNA proof. He also said the way the police first questioned the boys might have been too forceful. Ivan got very angry and called the head prosecutor a dishonest and corrupt official. He thought that with leaders like this in the country, there was probably no hope for justice. He decided right then to get revenge for his granddaughter himself. After leaving the office, he did not go back home. Instead, he went directly to a bank. He used his small house in the countryside as a guarantee and borrowed $5,000. When he returned home, he found that the police chief had been there and left some money, trying to make the whole problem go away. This action, which was meant to insult them, made Ivan extremely mad. He went straight to the chief's house and threw the money right in his face. Ivan knew this could not go on like this. He decided he had to take action. He took a key and walked over to another apartment building nearby. Just as he had guessed, from there, he could see everything those three bad young men were doing. So, the next day, he told Katya a lie. He said he was traveling to Moscow to officially complain to higher authorities, but instead, he went to a secret market in Moscow. He found a shop owner who was selling air guns and asked him where he could buy a real gun. The shop owner laughed when he heard this. He thought it was funny that an old man wanted to become a killer, but he could see that Ivan was very serious. So, he helped Ivan get in touch with some gangsters. The gang leader asked Ivan who he wanted to hurt. Ivan just answered coldly, a few young men. The gang leader was curious. He asked why Ivan could not just use the law or pay some money to fix things. Ivan told him that if those ways worked, he would not be here asking them for help. Then, they covered Ivan's eyes so he could not see where they were going. They took him to a big, empty building far from the city. Ivan looked at many guns carefully. In the end, he chose a special, long sniper rifle called a Dragunov. It came with a part to make it quiet and 10 special bullets. The next day, Ivan acted normal. He watched some people playing a game outside and said hello to a couple of his old friends. Then, when they were not looking, he quietly walked away. He went secretly to the top floor of the apartment building. He got the sniper rifle ready. He pointed it at the 3 bad young men who were having a party. The young man sitting in the middle had a bottle of wine held between his legs. Ivan aimed his gun at the bottle. He concentrated very hard. He pulled the trigger. The bottle broke into many pieces immediately. Blood went everywhere. That young man would never be able to have children. After that, Ivan calmly fixed his clothes. He bent down and picked up the empty bullet casing. He left the rooftop quickly. He went back to his old friends and acted like he had never left. Soon, an ambulance arrived with its sirens on. Several old men, including Ivan, watched as a young man was put into the ambulance. They laughed and made jokes about him. Ivan walked back to his home in a calm way. At the place where the crime happened, the police chief was trying to figure out why a champagne bottle would explode like that. When he saw the hole in the sofa, he knew this was not a normal accident. He asked his son if he had heard the sound of a gun, but his son had been so scared that he could not remember such a small detail. Not much later, Ivan did the same thing again. When nobody was watching him, he went back up to the rooftop. He put the rifle in place. He saw another one of the bad young men. This guy was driving a nice, new car and listening to music, looking very relaxed. Ivan pointed the gun at the car's fuel tank. He fired one shot. The car blew up immediately. It was quickly covered in fire. The young man inside the car got very bad burns all over. People living nearby started talking loudly about what happened. Only the neighbor, Lyoshka, felt that something was not right. He looked over at Ivan for a moment. When the police examined the evidence from the 2 crime scenes, they learned that both victims were hurt in the lower part of their bodies. This could not just be luck. It was clearly a planned act of revenge. At the same time, Lyoshka wanted to stop Ivan from doing anything else that was wrong. He decided to do something. He went to Ivan's house to ask where he was. He found out that the old man was not back yet, but he noticed an extra key hanging on the wall. Katya said it was the key to her aunt's apartment. Lyoshka took the key down and looked at it closely. Right then, he understood exactly how Ivan had done all these things. So, when he left Ivan's house, he quietly took the key with him. Meanwhile, Ivan soon became the main person that the police suspected. The police chief came and searched Ivan's home, but he did not find any gun. The 2 men argued very loudly. Right at that moment, someone knocked on the door. The chief opened it. It was Katya's aunt. She had come to get the key to her apartment. What everyone expected to happen finally did. The chief took Ivan to the apartment that the key belonged to. He checked the angle from the window. The shots could have been fired from this very room. Ivan was very nervous and sweat was on his face. But in the end, the police did not find anything illegal. Since there was no proof, the chief could only warn Ivan. He said, "If you dare to hurt my son." But before he could finish his sentence, Ivan told him that it was already too late. This statement made the chief very scared. He immediately thought that his son must already be dead. He ran home as fast as he could. He banged on the door for a long time, but nobody answered. The chief was so worried and scared that he took out his gun. He got ready to force the door open, but the very moment he fired his gun at the lock, he was shot by his own son from inside the house. Because of all the extreme mental stress, his precious son had already lost his mind and become crazy. Finally, they all got the punishment that they deserved. But there was still one thing Ivan could not figure out. Where did his rifle disappear to? Soon after all this, his neighbor Lyoshka invited Ivan to come to his apartment. It turned out that Lyoshka had taken the rifle. As a police officer, he had to take away the old man's weapon. But as a man with a good heart, he did not tell anyone what the old man had really done.